What's up, guys? Thank you so much for joining me as I talk about why Pokemon Legends ZA is the best Pokemon game that we've gotten in many years, and hands down, the best Pokemon game of the Nintendo Switch era and generation. Now, admittedly, I have played this game, been playing this game on the Nintendo Switch 2, but I have heard that it does run and play solid on the Nintendo Switch 1 as well. So before I go ahead and talk about why I think this is the best Pokemon game in years, at least for me, I do want to address the elephant in the room, and that's all the criticisms about this game. Now, there has been a lot of discourse and a lot of negativity surrounding the Nintendo Switch 2, and honestly, Game Freak has given content creators who have been making a lot of money covering this negativity on YouTube and Twitter, other places like that. Game Freak has given them valid reason for the criticism. You know, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, everybody knows what a mess that was. And everybody knows that compared to the quality that you get with standard first-party Nintendo titles, that Game Freak's quality has not quite matched up with that. I will say, however, that Legends ZA, at least from my experience on the Switch 2, is definitely the best game that they've put out visually in the 3D era and the best performing game that I have played out of all these different Pokemon games. Now, to me, the number one reason why I truly believe this is the best Pokemon game of the Nintendo Switch era and that we've gotten in many years is just because of the great combat, the great battle system. Now, they did advertise this as a new, fully action RPG. Now, it's not quite that. You are battling in real time and it does feel very action-packed, but you are still giving your Pokemon commands from a menu just like you would on a turn-based system. But there is a little, I would say a big change to it, because now you kind of have to worry about where you're going to position your Pokemon at. Do you want to do a long range attack, have them standing farther away? Do you want to have them go in close for a close range attack? Do you want to do a stronger attack that's going to take more time, or go for something weaker that you can just do multiple attacks in while your opponent is charging up their stronger attack that's going to take longer? So I think it adds a lot more strategy to it, and it just really completely shook up the whole foundation of the gameplay. And I do have to give credit to Legends Arceus for this, because it did kind of start this system, but I do feel like Pokemon Legends ZA has kind of perfected it at this point. It's a lot of fun. It's just really engaging, really addictive in my opinion. And I have to say the online play is a lot of fun and it's really addictive. Now, admittedly, I've never really gotten into Pokemon games for the online aspect. I think I've tried it a little bit with some of the past more traditional turn-based games, and it was all right. But the Legends ZA ranked battles are just a ton of fun, just having it play out in real time. It's just so much faster, snappier. It's a lot of fun just trying to get as many KOs as you can in that 3-time speed limit. And it is cool. I know a lot of people complain about certain rewards being locked behind the online, which you have to pay $20 for the year for, which really is nothing to me. But I think it's cool that there even is rewards tied to it. It just gives you more incentive to play it, and it's just a lot of fun. It's even fun doing the private battles. I did a little bit of that against my cousin's team, and we're going to have to get another match of that going soon now that our Pokemon are, probably more evolved and stronger and everything. But I know one of the main criticisms about this game is the fact that now you're just in this small kind of city area opposed to Legends Arceus, which gave you these wide, vast areas to explore and see Pokemon in their natural habitats. And I just want to say that the whole concept of Legends Arceus, however you pronounce it, is really cool. I think the way they changed the catching mechanic is a lot of fun, but I just couldn't get into that game because for me, that battle system that it had was just half-baked. It just wasn't much fun, and there just wasn't really much emphasis on the battles at all. It was just all about throwing Pokeballs pretty much throughout the whole game. You would have to catch the same Pokemon over and over and over just to get the full Pokédex entry. And what I like about Legends ZA is that you don't have to do any of that, but the more Pokemon that you do catch, you feel rewarded for it. You don't feel like you're forced to, but you'll end up feeling like you want to just as you're strolling around through the map in different wild areas, just because it's fun. I just like how there's so much more emphasis on the battles now. There's as much battles as you want to have because there's a day and night cycle. And every time the night cycle happens, there's the little ZA arena area where you can go and battle trainers every single night. There's a lot of side quests that have you battling trainers. Most of the side quests in this game are pretty fun. A lot of them will have you battling or even seeking out new Pokemon that you're going to get to have for your team. Speaking of Pokemon that you're going to get to have for your team, I think that's always been one of the most fun concepts about the Pokemon games, is finding different Mons out there in the wild to add to your roster, to add to your lineup to use in battle. And Pokemon Legends ZA gives you a lot of really cool and strong Pokemon to choose from early on in the game. And honestly, I really like that. I think it's a lot of fun. It gets you hooked early on, just trying to build that team that you want to have, whether it's for the main story or even for online competitive play. The performance of this game on Switch 2, pretty much flawless, really very minimal loading times. Even the online just loads really fast, really snappy. But to me, what truly makes this game the best of the Nintendo Switch era and a great start of a Pokemon game to have on the Switch 2. I didn't think it was going to be a system seller, honestly. I thought this would be a 7 or 8 out of 10 game that I might enjoy a bit. And quality-wise, I'll still give it around a 7 or 8 because it could be more polished. We do need to expect more from Game Freak, but the execution of the gameplay, I do feel that they pretty much nailed it in this game. There's some things that they could do better. Some of the wild areas do feel kind of way too small. I think if they would make a game like this in a more controlled environment like it is, but just add a little bit more exploration to it, some more wild areas to it, keep this kind of battle system, keep this emphasis on the battles. And also, I really love, and what really made me really appreciate this game is the emphasis and getting back to actually having difficulty in Pokemon games. I think one of the main reasons that I lost interest in a lot of the recent entries like Scarlet and Violet, I have to admit, I had some fun with it, but I ended up dropping it because I just didn't understand why make an open world Pokemon game with no level scaling. Doesn't really guide you the best way to go. So everywhere I went, I was way over leveled and just didn't feel like much fun at all. But in this game, every time you get to a new wild area, you're going to encounter strong Pokemon, alpha Pokemon that can knock you out. Even in some of the battle zones, there are trainers with way higher leveled Pokemon than you that it would be kind of impossible to beat maybe in some cases. But I really do appreciate how, Pokemon doesn't have to be difficult to be fun. All it has to have is engaging in fun battles, whether it's real time or strategy. And this game has a lot of engaging, fun battles, whether it's from trainers or wild Pokemon out there. I really do appreciate the increase in difficulty as a veteran player who got into Pokemon at the hype of Pokemania back in the 90s. I remember going to see Pokemon, the first movie. My first Pokemon game was Pokemon Yellow, and I had a turquoise Game Boy Color. I loved Pokemon Gold and Silver, loved the Pokemon Stadium games, loved Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. All those games were excellent. And although none of them were really the most difficult, they were engaging enough to give you a bit of a challenge. And that's all these games need to be fun. And I would say that ZA might at certain points be even a little more challenging than those games. And I love that about this game. I'm just absolutely hooked on getting through the main story. Can't wait for season 2 to start for the ranked battles. That's a lot of fun. Just catching different Pokemon, just building my team up the best they can be. This is exactly what I've been wanting for years. Sword and Shield didn't do it for me. Scarlet and Violet didn't do it for me. Arceus didn't do it for me, although it was a really cool concept. And I'm glad they made that game so that they can make something more fun with Legends ZA. But I really would like to know, if you've played Pokemon Legends ZA, what do you think about it? Do you think that Game Freak is going in the right direction with this? That they just need to add a bit more to make it really perfected? Personally, I think they do need to up the quality. They need to add voice acting. They need to up the graphics, although it looks better now. They need to make the environments look way better, because the environments aren't good looking. But overall, if you enjoy the concept of Pokemon, the catching, the battlings, this is an engaged, fun game that I truly believe you will enjoy if you're a fan of the old school games like me. But I really would like to know your thoughts down below in the comments. I appreciate you watching so much. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I will definitely catch you all on the next one.